Hi everybody, welcome back to Small Caliber Arms Review. I'm Richard. Today we're going to be taking a look at another one of Granddad's old guns, and this one is the JC Higgins Model 103.18-22. Single shot, 22 bolt action rifle. It's got a 24-inch barrel on it, and it says that most of them are a walnut stock. I'm not so sure this one's walnut. I don't know if this is the original finish on it or anything. Kind of looks like it. It's a little rough. It's a little scarred up and beat up, but this thing is pretty old too. The JC Higgins were made from, I think 1947 up until 1954. There's no serial number on this because it is pre-Gun Control Act of 1968, so it wasn't required to have a serial number on it. But some of the things that gives me an idea of when this thing was made is it has a plastic trigger guard on it. Now, the plastic trigger guard was brought up in 1947. So actually, I think these were made a little bit before that. I think 3 years before that. So the plastic trigger guard in 1947, and then in 1954, they went to the micro groove rifling. And this one does not have the micro groove rifling. And you say, wait a minute, micro groove rifling, that was Marlin that did that. And Marlin and Glenfield, and you are correct. This is a rebranded Model 100, Marlin Model 100, with the JC Higgins name on it. Now, JC Higgins was a sporting goods brand that Sears carried. They did, you know, bicycles, camping stuff, hunting stuff, guns, and all kind of different things. And this was Sears' way to bring you a firearm that was not going to be as expensive as Marlin would be, because Marlin had been around for a long time, made good quality firearms. So Sears, kind of like Walmart of today, said, hey, make us a brand, we'll sell it under our name and sell it a little bit cheaper. So that's what they did. Marlin said, sure, we'll go ahead and make you a bunch of these and you can sell them. Now, I don't know how many of these were made because there's no serial numbers on them, and Sears or Marlin didn't keep real good records of how many of these things were produced. But it's probably somewhere around 20 to 50,000 of these things. And I've seen a lot of JC Higgins firearms when I go to the gun shows and stuff. I just never picked one up. They're not highly collectible, even though you know, they were made by Marlin. It's just a store brand name, so most people are like, I don't want to collect that. Really simple gun. It's, like I said, it's a single shot bolt action. So it's got a really long bolt in it, and I did have a snap cap in there because I was dry firing it. You don't want to dry fire or rim fire without a snap cap in it. To take the bolt out for cleaning, all you got to do is pull the bolt all the way back, pull the trigger all the way back, the bolt slides right out. Very, very simple design on this thing. You just got your hammer and your spring and everything in there. When you pull this back, the hammer, the sear part of it actually catches it. And when you pull the trigger, it releases it, slams that hammer piece into the back of the firing pin, which is this blade right here. Your firing pin also acts as your ejector on there. Your extractor's right here on the top. And judging by the wear on this thing, the extractor is very nice. The firing pin is not damaged, but I can see some evidence of dry firing inside the breech face on the barrel there, but it doesn't look like it's damaged beyond use anyways. Big long blade on this firing pin right here, so it's more like a firing blade than a firing pin. So to shoot this thing, to put the bolt back in, all you gotta do is put it back in, pull your trigger back, slide it all the way forward, and it doesn't do anything right now because you have to actually manually cock this. So we're going to go ahead and pull the trigger, and we're going to go ahead and load the snap cap in there. Now, some of the other single shot ones I did, you can just kind of drop the round down in there and push it forward. You can't do that on this one because there's no feed ramp to it, so you actually have to point the end of it into the hole there, push it in a little bit, then you can close it, pull that plunger back on there, and then you can go ahead and pull the trigger on it. Now this thing has got probably I would say probably about an 8-pound trigger on it. It's a little heavy, not terrible. The extractor on this thing works great. Like I said, it extracts it, pulls it out. Your firing pin is your ejector, so it flips it up and outward like that. Very, very simple design. This one does have some swivel studs on it here. They do rotate, and they pivot back and forth. They are screwed directly into the wood. Some of the other JC Higgins models that were out there actually had a retractable sling that was wound up in the buttstock there. You could pull it out, hook it to your front one, throw it over your shoulder. This one is not quite that fancy. And to tell you the truth, they weren't priced that way either, because this thing back in the 47 to 54 sold for about 11 or 12 bucks. You could go right to the Sears catalog, order it, and it was more than likely shipped directly to your house unless you had one of the catalog stores. And I remember growing up, the town I grew up in actually had a Sears and Roebuck catalog store. You could pick something out of the catalog, it would be shipped right to the store, and you went there and picked it up. Sears has been gone for quite a while. This one just a blued barrel on it, and this one is in really good shape, was the reason I decided to go ahead and pick it up. There's a little wear on some of the bluing. It's kind of coming off in different places where the roll marks on here where it says JC Higgins on it. The roll marks are really weak. They're good in the center, but as they get toward the edge, they kind of fade out. But you can still read on here that it's a JC Higgins model 103.18-22 cal, and it's by the Sears and Roebuck company, and this is chambered in shorts, longs, and long rifle, so it'll handle all three of them. Plastic butt plate on it, scarred up wooden stock on this thing, swivel studs, bead front sight. I guess it's kind of a buckhorn rear sight. Got the little elevator on it so you can raise it up. You can't pull it all the way back to the last notch though, because it hits the receiver part there. But we're going to leave it on its lowest setting there, which should get me pretty close at the 15-yard range we're going to shoot it at. Then we might take it over the 100-yard range and give it a few shots. I got a couple boxes here. I got a few leftover CCI standard velocities here. These are 40 grain lead round nose, clocking in at 1,070 feet per second. Then I'm going to try some of these Browning Pros. I bought these a while back. I've used a few of them. They seem to shoot really nice. Not much difference in these and the standard velocity CCIs, but these are 40 grain round nose with a target crimp and claiming 1,085 feet per second. So we'll get this thing out to the range, give it a few shots. Hopefully it all works out. I haven't tried it yet. All I've done was clean it up and get it ready. Okay, we're out here at the range with the JC Higgins model 103-18. I've got a target set up there at the 15-yard target, but when I shoot from the matrix here, it's add another 3 yards to it. So we're looking at 18 yards. It's just one of the little 6-inch, 4-inch small targets. And we're gonna try some of the CCI standard velocity first. Like I said, I got a partial box here. It's got 10 rounds left in it. We're gonna shoot at least 5 of them. And like I said, with this one, to load it, some of the other ones you can just drop it in there, shove it forward. This one you actually have to get it started into the chamber there. Go ahead and close it, and you still have to cock it. So we got to pull that plunger back. There is no manual safety on this. The only safety is to leave it uncocked while you're traveling with a round in there, which you probably shouldn't do anyways. But let's give it a try and see how it does at 18 yards. Only open sights on this. The receiver's not drilled and tapped for any kind of sight or optic, and there's also no groove on here for like a 3/8 dovetail. So open sights from the factory is what you get. And seems to shoot just fine, ejects just fine. Like I said, I have not tried this thing out. I don't know how the accuracy is on it. I cannot see that where it hit there, so I'm just going to aim for the same spot again. Again, you got to cock it. And like I said, it's kind of a heavy trigger pull. Nothing terrible, but would be a good one for a beginner shooter. Somebody you're getting used to firing things, firing rifles, firearms of any kind. I can start to see the holes in there now. It looks like that first one may have been dead center. Yeah, not a terrible trigger on this thing. We'll just do 5 rounds. We'll go up there and look at the target. All right, let's go take a peek. Oh yeah, one of them dead center on there. That's the way I like to see them. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nice round holes, so there's no tumbling on there. Decent little group. I wish they would have all been right there in the center, but the 3 right there and the 2 right there, like I said, it's open sights. It's hard to even see that, even from 18 yards away. That's only a 4-inch circle there, 6-inch circle on the outside. But yeah, that's not terrible right there. Let's try 5 rounds of the Pro, and I'll go ahead and change the target on this, and we'll see if it does any better. All right, there's not going to be a whole lot of difference in these two brands of ammunition here. It can fire shorts and longs in there, but we're just sticking with the long rifle right now, the most common ammo there is out there. So let's give this thing a try. That grouping seemed to be a little bit better on this stuff. Let's go get the target. We'll bring it back here and take a peek at it. Okay, I may indeed have to fire my cameraman because he forgot to push record on the target camera up there, but that's a pretty nice little group there, kind of raggedy. All 5 of them are touching. Looks like 2 of them might be in the exact same hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Still pretty good, and that's with my eyes at 18 yards, which is, you know, kind of questionable. But it's a pretty good shooting rifle. It would be nice if I could add a scope to this thing, because the better detail that you can see that target in, the better you're going to be able to shoot. Very easy rifle to maintain. Like I said, all you got to do is pull the bolt back till it stops, pull the trigger, pull it all the way out, clean everything up. Very nice rifling in this thing, even though it's not the micro groove rifling that Marlin used in some of their later stuff, which I really like that micro groove rifling. Both the Glenfield and the Marlin Model 60 I have, both have it, and it is fantastic, I think. Less bullet deformation means better aerodynamics of the bullet. Anyways, let's take this thing up to the 100-yard range, and we'll go ahead and give it a couple shots up there in the steel target. Not really for accuracy, but just to see how it does with open sights at 100 yards. All right, I got my eyes and ears on and in, and we're going to go ahead and take 5 shots at the steel target, 100 yards, and we're going to use the Browning Pros. Those seem to group a little better. Of course, that could just be me. Who knows? Now, it is very hard to see that target up there, even just standing here looking, because it's faded paint. It kind of blends right in with the background a little bit, but I'm going to give it a try and see how it does. And that was a hit. And another one. And 5 out of 5 with the Browning Pros. I like the way this thing ejects right straight up in the air, and you're able to catch them if you have to. You don't have to, though. Anyways, there it is. This is the JC Higgins. It was sold by Sears. It's actually a copy of a Marlin Model 100. Great shooting rifle. No option for an optic on this thing, at least not with this version of it. And JC Higgins made a bunch of different rifles. They made semi-autos, they made magazine-fed bolt actions, all that kind of stuff. Great firearms, and the nice thing about them is they're the same quality as the Marlins, or they even made some Winchesters with the JC Higgins name on it, from what I've been reading. And they're the same quality, just not the same price. And since collectors aren't out there just grabbing these things up like crazy, you can still find them pretty inexpensively. I think I paid $129 for this one, which is about the average price for them. And it's in really, really, really good shape. The inside, the outside, the wood is a little dinged up here and there, but it's not bad at all. Anyways, thanks for taking a look at another one of Granddad's old guns, the JC Higgins Model 103.18 in 22 short, long, and long rifle. If you could, reach up here and hit this button to check out some of my other videos, and hit the little round one over there to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.